everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And welcome to SoftServe and Adam live webinar, How to Automate Agency Operations and Grow Your Business. As usual, do not forget to submit your questions either through live chat here in WebEx or send them to our email webinar@softserveinc.com. Our speakers will be happy to answer all of them at the end of the webinar during questions and answer session. And now, welcome our speakers, Matt Colmorgan, VP Digital at SoftServe, and Jan De Josso, Senior Director Demand Generation at Adam Software and a Primo company. Matt?
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining today. I'm Matt Colmorgan with SoftServe. We are a digital services company focused on helping organizations transform their digital experience and customer engagement strategies. And I head up our media practice, focusing on agency as well as media entertainment clients. And I'll hand it over to Jan for his intro.
Hey, hello. As said, I'm Jan, currently at Primo, actually since 3 months, and before that, since the acquisition of Adam by Primo, where at Adam I was heading up the marketing department. Nice to meet you all. Today I will give you a high-level market overview, just 10 minutes I promise, on what's going on between marketing and the challenge that are faced by enterprise marketing departments and so also their agencies. And I'm going to hand over back to Matt to talk about what the day in the life of an agency looks like and how the Adam Agency Edition, which is developed by SoftServe, can help and support agencies in better serving and helping out, supporting their customers. Let me dive right into it. Why do we care, or why does it matter? Of course, the ultimate goal is to help our customers sell more. If we are successful, or if they are successful, or we make them successful, that makes ourselves also successful. And this is valid for agencies like you, but of course also for vendors like Adam or a Primo nowadays, or service companies like SoftServe. It's all about helping them sell more, grow their revenues. Of course, that's easier said than done. Meanwhile, we are all confronted, and certainly marketing, with this tidal wave of digital marketing. And I gather most of you, if not all, have seen similar statistics or data points as on this slide. As Forrester puts it, we are in the age of the customer, which means that buyers and consumers conduct their research upfront, and most of the time online or digitally. That means that once a salesperson gets in touch with that consumer or that customer, actually most of the sales cycle has already been passed. Most of the work has been made. The consumer has made his homework already. That's also the reason why, for instance, almost 3/3 of companies have hired someone responsible for their content marketing strategy. And whether you've seen these statistics or others, I think there are two main findings or results all the time. One is that enterprises, your customers, are in the midst of a digital transformation or planning to start a digital transformation. And second, content is still very much king. Only content is now created and consumed in a very different format and under very different shapes and formats than ever before. Because in the end, it's all about the customer journey. It's all about creating those engaging, consistent journeys, customer experiences with your consumers. More specifically related to content, that means that you embrace or you surround that end customer with rich content. And that goes from the discovery phase, someone looking probably online on what product or what service he or she would need, to in the end eventually, hopefully, becoming a customer and needing support or needing help or becoming a brand advocate. Again, easier said than done, because there are so many different channels and formats where you need to have consistency of your content. And of course, delivery times and time to market has reduced significantly, which means that not only there's a explosion of content that needs to be created, but also it needs to be created in much smaller or reduced time frames than ever before. Another statistic or another data point is around video. Video creates 66% more engagement, and the bulk of marketeers say that actually they gain well or very well engagement using interactive video. And this slide is now valid for video, as it probably was valid for images 5 or 10 years ago. And maybe next year or in 3 years' time, we talk about 3D or virtual reality. So you see the shifting or the changing behavior of consumers looking at their preferred way to engage or to be engaged with your brand, your products, your services, or your customers' products, services. Some examples, for instance, booking a holiday, looking up Vinales in Cuba. Probably going to the wiki page doesn't really entice you or motivate you to start booking that trip. However, however, looking at these pictures, that might say, hey, that's where I want to go, and you start booking away. But even then, images alone so often are not enough. For instance, looking for a car, this is not really the type of imagery content that makes you buy a BMW. This, however, might make you feel different. That said, being in the age of the customer, there are some other factors or trends that impact the way enterprises go about their marketing. First of all, experiences are everywhere. In the end, we're all human, and we all love to share experiences. So those organizations that empower customers to communicate on their experiences with the brand, they have the best chance of turning those customers into brand advocates. Only, again, very difficult to achieve and to do. Because customers are also everywhere. We live in a globally and in a digitally connected society. So we need to engage with customers with consumable and relevant, yet compelling and engaging content. And that content should be available across a myriad of devices and channels and platforms. And again, in a consistent, localized and personalized way. Of course, your brand or your customers' brands are everywhere, and brand equity is vital because customers, they interact with the brands in all ways and at all times. And buying or purchase decisions are increasingly driven by brand recognition or brand loyalty. And therefore, the consistency or the coherence of that experience is absolutely crucial, regardless of where the customer is consuming or experiencing that journey, whether which touch points, which region or geography, which language or culture they're in. And products, of course, are everywhere. Brands keep on launching new products or extending their existing collections. Product life cycles have never been shorter than before, and consumers never had so many options and so many choice. And as we are in the age of the digital consumer, or as we are in the age of the customer, we have educated buyers, so they expect relevant and engaging product information whenever, even if they're looking for something or if they're evaluating products. They need to be able to drill down to that and consult that information, that content they absolutely need at that very stage. So it all comes down to, as said, content, and content is king. And being it bought, earned, or owned media, self-created or user-generated, content is needed to differentiate from all those other brands and enterprises. And you need that content in the right format, on the right time, for the right individual, because in the end, better adopted or adapted content increases conversion. And again, as said at the beginning, this content needs to be created and delivered in shorter periods, putting a big strain and impact on the life of an agency. Now, putting that all together, witnessing that tidal wave of digital and that requirement for content, it's driving the feeling of never being really above water, that digital age. It's creating this what we call the marketing operational gap, because just a few years ago, maybe there were 4 channels: phone, fax, mail, and call centers. Now there's at least a minimum of 20 channels, paid, owned, and earned, that is being used to market and to advertise. So there is to have all your content on all these different channels is causing an operations gap due to the limited or the finite resources, being it money, people, and processes. And that, of course, has impact on, and because at that moment, brands, large brands and enterprises turn to the agencies and see how they can help them solve that marketing operational gap. Actually, they're looking at two things. They're looking at technology and at their agencies, and both, of course, go hand in hand. Because will technology solve all problems? Probably not. Just putting in a platform or a piece of software won't make everything better. But more often than not, technology and marketing technology suites will help supporting driving that digital transformation. As an example, I think you are all aware of these market technology landscapes provided by Scott Brinker, where he started in 2011 with 150 logos. And I think 2 weeks ago he revealed or published the 2017 overview, which already includes over 5,000 logos. So you see an explosion of marketing tech companies all trying to solve a piece of the puzzle. And of course, that creates a channel. It's a challenge, not only for the marketing and the heads of marketing in IT, but also for the agencies, because there's so much fragmentation and disparate tools. Which ones do we need first? Which ones should we focus and get in? Which ones will help us or help you support your customers better? Just as an example, this is, for instance, the Primo Stacky. So this is just an overview of the different technology pieces and apps that we are using internally. Primo is a company of less than 500 people. So you can imagine, looking at already the number of applications we have in-house or using, you can imagine what that means at large enterprises. So a lot of enterprises and brands are looking towards their agencies to take a piece of that technology stack and be able to serve them better, faster, and easier. Now, with that technology, there's also some warning signs. And I just picked two recent pieces or news items. One is about the impact of marketing clouds, and just to cite or quote the executive director of VML, who says that agencies bring the context the CMO needs, and agencies have the potential to be the best orchestrator to help the CMO get the most out of their marketing clouds. However, most agencies don't currently have the depth in these technologies that the vendors and other partners have, or they don't have the expertise to scale the operations that consultancies have. So there you see that technology also might be a threat for agencies and supporting your customers. And finally, there was this news item about Cosabella, the lingerie retailer that replaced its digital agency with an artificial intelligence platform. Now, this was not a cost reduction exercise, because setting up the platform, maintaining it, keeping up to date, and using it is about the same costs or fees that they would pay their digital agency. Only they saw also that it tripled their ROI and it increased its customer base by 30%. So just for instance, because the AI found that images with people performed 50% better, so they start asking for it. So just to show that technology, yes, is something to look at, something that will help you support you and better serve your customers, but it can also pose some threats. And upon that, I'm going to hand over to Matt, who will go in detail on the life of an agency.
Great, thank you, Jan. So yeah, those logo slides always blow me away. 3,750 marketing technology logos. So yeah, as Jan mentioned, our systems are exploding, and we're feeding more content into more channels than ever. And these new media channels have created entirely new genres of agencies: social, SEO, digital, and that list goes on. But the net effect to our business is that our clients are moving away from one-stop shopping when it comes to agencies. And we're competing not only for projects, but now we're competing for our clients' attention, because corporate marketing is stretched very thin. They're supporting all of these new channels with pretty much the same staff, if not the same budget. But there's one thing that hasn't changed, and that's the workflows. And most of these are non-standardized, they're ad hoc, and they do remain pretty content intensive. So a day in today's agency looks something like this, where you've got workers starting their day, getting content ready for a creative review, or they get a request for a product shot, a video, some piece of content, copy, what have you. But in the end, they have to go through this laborious process of searching for the final approved version, that single source of truth. And while that's happening, you've got people that are trying to track down approvals. They're trying to use email, text, phone, whatever, to reach busy clients so that their deadlines can be met. And in other parts of the agency, you've got people searching through files, contracts, emails, ensuring that the content that's about to be used is owned or licensed properly, and the usage rights that are adhered to avoid really costly mistakes. And while this is going on, you've got new requests coming on, and agency staffers are scrambling to find resources that they can assign to these. So this goes on day after day, and for large agencies, you could probably multiply this by 100. But digital asset management software, like Atom's Smart Content Hub, can enable and streamline all these processes. But the key thing to remember here is this is not just about efficiency. As Jan mentioned earlier, many industries, in fact, most industries, are undergoing a digital transformation. And this is one that's born out of survival. But the transformation for agencies is about building and fostering relationships. And there are 5 key areas that companies must focus on to be more relevant to their clients today. And it's the same for agencies. So serving up more personalized content. We know who people are logging into our systems. Let's show them the projects or the content that's relevant to their daily work. Be more digitally convenient, easy to work with. Access from mobile, access from multiple systems in and outside your corporate environments. Be more socially connected. And I'm not talking about connecting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram around the content. I'm talking about building communities with your customers, building communities around ideas and collaboration. Also allowing content to be accessed in real time. As we always say, where they want it, how they want it, and when they want it. And the last piece I think is the most important because it's about providing ongoing value beyond the transaction. This should be relationship-based and not transaction-based. So digital asset management, like Atom's Smart Content Hub, becomes the foundation for client collaboration. Connecting on a system basis creates relationships that become really hard to sever. You stop being a commodity. You are connected through processes. It's like having a credit card on Amazon with your weekly order already teed up, and all you have to do is hit a one-click purchase. And I think most importantly is the improvement that your clients will see in the experience they have with working you as an agency. You know, one of the most powerful things and what disruptors do really well in this technology environment is hide the transaction and allow the end user to focus on the experience. So people today make buying decisions based on experience, loyalty decisions based on experience. Brands compete on experience. And a collaboration platform is a great way for an agency to ensure that they have a great experience, that your clients have a great experience. So we'll change gears a little bit and move into a demo. And in the demo, we'll just focus on 5 key areas. You know, again, Atom is a really, really powerful digital asset management platform, and it can be configured to manage assets and workflows in very large and complex environments. But sometimes you need to simplify the deployment to make it intuitive, straightforward, and allow users to work with digital elements. So in the demo that I prepared for you today, what we'll be focusing on the benefits of rolling a tool like this out to your customers or to your clients. A very simple, intuitive, zero training needed interface. We're empowering users by giving them quick access to the content they need to do their jobs. And we're helping your clients maximize the ROI and maximize their creative spend and helping them promote their brand consistency. So let's walk through a few of these elements here. As I log in here, so one of the first things I'm presented with in a streamlined digital asset management system is content. And this content can be sorted by maybe it's the most recent, or if it's personalized, which it should be, it's the most relevant to me. It's either what I've recently viewed or it has to do with my projects. And I can do a couple things. I can quickly sort to get different views here, but I like my straightforward view. And if this is all the content that I've been working recently, chances are I might be done here. I can just quickly hover over this content and I can download it, I can view it, or I can send it off to somebody who's requested a copy for their use. So very simple to view and scroll and browse for content. But there may be areas when I want to go in and actually search for new content. So that's where I would leverage very powerful search capabilities like searching ahead tools. And then I hit my results. And now I'm searching for everything that is just for watch. And I can easily go in and refine my search. Maybe it's just a video that I need. However, maybe it's just images. Same with documents, PDFs, what have you. Now I may want to zoom in and actually get more information about assets. So I'm given a description of the asset, I'm given its size, but most importantly, I'm given its usage restrictions. And what I can actually do with Atom is tie these restrictions to the ability to download or not, or download for certain cases. So I can download in multiple formats. So if I'm trying to download on a huge format that is going to go up on a billboard or a print magazine, the system may say, nope, you can't do that. We only have web license. But here I can just email, I can view related assets, I can get a more enhanced view of the tool. I can really understand what it is I'm looking at. But instead for searching just for assets itself, there may be use cases where I just want to go and work with my projects. And a project is something that's based on something I'm working on specifically. This could be a web campaign, this could be a print campaign, could be a broadcast campaign, what have you. But now I've got a container for all the elements involved in my project, and I can click in and view all of these assets and organize them and work with them. Now, additionally, other than projects, we have the notion of campaign kits. This is a really powerful application for Atom, because how many times have you created a series of campaigns and now an affiliate in another part of the country, in another part of the world, might want to leverage the assets involved with that campaign, if not the entire campaign itself, and they would just need all of the production level assets to take and then localize and use for their purposes. So in campaign kits, that's exactly what I have here. I have my campaigns sorted by campaign, and then from here, I just have the ability to go through and download or email and send these out to whoever is requesting them, or I can actually click in and view all the elements of the campaign. And there might be one specific piece I'm looking for. Maybe it was that nice red shoe that was part of our print campaign. And then I have it right here, and I can email, download, what have you. And again, I give them my usage rights. So, you know, really, really powerful. So that's one very great way to start collaborating and interacting, but there are others. So moving out of assets into workflow, there may be areas that I have to approve. So I can either sort my approvals by everything that I need to see. Here's some need comments, some need formal approval. If it's just comments, I can do some things. Maybe somebody's asking me if all these look okay, and I can just quickly multi-select and hey, these look great, or yeah, approve these. These look awesome. But then I can go back, and if I need to do a more thorough approval and review, I'm back to my old friend, the brown watch here, something I like. And I really like this watch a lot, but I've got one issue with it. If we're going to use this in the campaign, you know, I really want to change the band. That's my challenge here. So I'm given the capability through Atom to go right into the asset and make a comment here. To be, I don't know, let's say a metal band. And I can go in and I can request that change. and it goes through the approval workflow or what have you. So again, a really powerful way to start collaborating instantly, easily around content. So there's two more areas I want to focus on here before I wrap up the demo and we get to questions. Now, everything that I've showed today is an asset. It's something that was created by the agency or licensed by the agency, and we're putting it out to the client. But there may be areas that I want to go in and just collaborate around open ideas. And that's where we come up with this concept around inspiration. One of the largest challenges we have working around creative concepts are all the various areas that files wind up in. Dropbox, Box, shared drives, Microsoft, it's all over the place. So through the power of Atom, we can consolidate and just create these open areas for collaboration around things you've seen or ideas that you might have for upcoming campaigns or other marketing functions. And I can quickly go through and create an area and then add an asset. And I can choose to organize this in different areas. I could upload it from my local drive, or we can do integrations and add right from Dropbox. It's something we shared to me. So again, a really powerful tool for collaboration. I firmly believe that agencies should be the source of inspiration for their clients, and this is a way to do it. Lastly is reporting, and this is really critical because reporting and analytics may be the way that this system gets paid for, because this is the way that your clients come in and order their images, and now we can track who's ordering what's been downloaded. But it also justifies that, hey, this system's being used, and the content that you paid to have created is having more of a life. It's having a long tail. It's getting reused across various other campaigns. So there's a tremendous amount of efficiency had here. And we can do ad hoc reporting, most viewed, most downloaded, most searched terms. We can show active users. We can look at what's in the system, what type of content, who are the most active users, the amount of content. There's just a lot of reporting that can be had. So this is all powered by Atom Smart Content Hub. And at this point, I'm going to hand it back to Ola for any questions.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jan, for a very insightful presentation. So it's time to get back to questions. And here we have some of them. Okay, guys, so it's up to you who will answer the question. So here's the first question. Can a single agency run many different clients on one Atom instance?
So Jan, I can field that, and then you can jump in with anything you want to add there. So absolutely yes, and that's why we designed the agency edition on top of Atom, because Atom has this notion called spaces, and spaces are separate, distinct collections that are logically separated, just as your data would be logically separated in a cloud deployment. So indeed, you can run multiple spaces within a digital asset management system. And since Atom is an enterprise level tool, it can run many, many different spaces because it can manage hundreds of thousands of assets, lots of records, lots of different metadata models to serve different clients.
Thank you, Matt. And then the next question, is on-premise or cloud deployments preferable?
From our perspective, this is Matt from SoftServe, I believe agencies are better served focusing on creative and not managing infrastructure. And the power of cloud deployments allow your infrastructure to be managed by a third party. It allows you to be elastic in terms of scalability. It allows for thoughtless backups to happen and redundant systems in case things do go down. So from our perspective, I think for an agency workflow, a hosted system actually makes great business sense.
And the last question for today, can an asset consist of multiple files?
Jan, you want to take that one? I feel like I'm hogging all the questions here.
No worries. No, you're doing great, so I don't want to intervene. The short answer is yes. And Matt, please add to it. So the Atom works with something we call records, and records can consist of one single file or multiple files or multiple other data sets. So it's the whole data model is set up that way to be as agile and flexible as possible, and then supporting all different use cases.
Yeah, and here's a great use case for that. So for audio files, audio is becoming a very important marketing tool as well. You're not going to get an image, but you may want to have the image of the artist or an image of the CD record that it came from. But you also might want to have lyrics, as well as rights and usage information. So all that can be configured to be a asset in the system, even though it's made up of multiple different objects.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Jan, once again. And thank you all of our attendees for joining us today. Hope you had an informative and fruitful time. And we look forward to seeing you on our other webinars.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.